I've been asked to speak today about something that happened to me a few weeks ago with a friend who is also a minister, and she had a very difficult funeral to do. She'd received a phone call from the undertaker to say that one of her parishioners' daughters had killed herself in the house while the rest of the family were in the house watching television. Our boyfriend was there as well. They hadn't had a fight. There was didn't seem to be anything stressing her. She had left school. She had got the job of her dreams, something that she'd wanted to do all her life. She was working in an office, was really happy there. And while she was with her boyfriend, she left to go to the bathroom, to use the bathroom, and never came back. She hung herself. And so my friend was phoned as the minister of the parish and asked to take that service. She phoned me. We were meeting that week for lunch anyway, and she said, I've got this very difficult funeral and I wonder if over lunch we could chat it through, because I just don't know where I'm coming from or what to say about it, and I have no idea how to start this service. What on earth am I going to say to these people? And I've been told that there'll be at least 200 to 250 young people will come to this service because this is an 18-year-old person. So we met that week for lunch, and we had lunch, and then she started to open up and to tell me about the situation and about how she felt and how bereft she was. This was a young woman who had been in the church all her life. Her family had been in the church. She'd been through Sunday school in the church. She was well known. She hadn't a particularly alive connection at that point, but she'd been in guides, she'd been in brownies, all of those things, and was just a young person living her life, a full life. And the whole church was just bereft at the loss of their young person. So we started to chat about how that might feel to people and how she might start. And I suggested that maybe she would use a line about Jesus wept. The shortest verse in the Bible is that Jesus wept at the death of his friend Lazarus. And she told me later that she had used that line. That was her opening gamut, and her opening line was that Jesus wept and we weep today for our loss. So that was okay. And she got into the service. We had also discussed how we might let these young people do something tangible in the service, because they wanted to come and they wanted to do something. They just wanted to be able to do something physical. And we talked around what she might do. We talked about maybe we could have them write something and bring it forward in the service. But no, we were more convinced that probably what young folks wanted was to take something away from the service. So that's what we did. We decided that one of the best things that we might be able to do would be to cut ribbons. This was a very colourful life that this girl had had. She was a colourful personality. So colour was important in her life. She chose to use ribbons of all different colours that would signify the story through this girl's life. So she used white for her babyhood. She used pink because she danced and did ballet as a youngster. She used brown and blue because she'd been in the brownies and in the guides. She used gold for golden memories, and that was the golden ribbon that her grandmother took because it reminded her of golden memories. An aunt had taken her school tie colours. She used the colours from her school tie because she knew that there would be lots of people from the local primary school and secondary school that she'd gone to. And she talked about these different aspects of her life, and as she went through her talk, she talked about the colour coming back to their life, because at the moment they felt dark and in the dark, and that things seemed very black, but there were these colours. And so she talked about the golden moments. And one aunt had chosen a primary school colour because her memory of her niece had been that when she was at school, she came home one day a week to her aunt's house for lunch, and that was a kind of special time that they had shared through the service, using these different colours, and placed the ribbons into baskets which were passed along the pews around a very full church, and the ribbons were all taken away by the people that came to the service. The family got a specific basket at the front that contained all of the colours so that they could choose whichever colour they felt most pertained to them, and they chose their own colours for their own special reasons. Some of the older people in the church have put the ribbon in the Bible to hold their place at some of the readings that were used that day, and people have just used the ribbon as they wish. They're happy to have taken away something from that service. And she noticed that people at the crematorium who hadn't managed to get a ribbon at the first service were scrambling almost to get ribbons. They wanted this thing to take away. So it's just one way of thinking how you might do something for young people in a service.